I'm Chef David Woolums at Sullivan University, and today we're going to be making cream cheese icing. To make cream cheese, it ain't that kind of thing, trust me.
I loved it. I'm looking that up.
What in the world is going on? So we're going to start off by cutting our butter into pieces because that's the hardest product that we got going into this. Okay, and this is how you got to do this. I don't like leaving this stuff sit out at room temperature, getting it too warm, because if you get it too warm, your icing's going to be warm, and then you're going to have serious issues trying to keep it on the side of the cake. Okay, so we want to start with our ingredients cold. As said, I also got to break this butter up because I'm going to paddle it and make it a little bit softer and smoother. So up we get about medium speed. Now y'all have pre-sifted your powdered sugar, and that's great. You might want to hit it one more time through the sifter. Wouldn't be the worst thing, wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Okay, but hit it through a sifter again just in case any of it's clumped up. All right, now what I'm looking for here is the same thing I'm looking for when I cream. Tray 4, I think it is. Would you get in there and get out the walnut or the pecans and the coconut? It might not be 4, I can't remember. I'm old, you know what I mean. Thank you very much. So we're gonna let this paddle until the butter becomes soft. It's gonna start sticking to the outside edges of the bowl just like it did in the creaming method. I'm gonna look for that to soften up a little bit because that's the thing that's going to make lumps in my cream cheese icing. Now you could use margarine here. And if you use margarine, you wouldn't have to beat it so much because margarine is a softer product than butter. Butter is quite firm at refrigerated temperatures. Margarine is not quite so firm. So once it begins to soften, my next hardest ingredient is the cream cheese. And I'll start chunking that in as it comes around, as it starts to mix. If my butter is sticking to the paddle, I just kick up the speed. Let centrifugal force do the job. I'm worried about the amount of air I'm going to get in here. I'm really looking for the friction of the paddle and the beating action of the paddle to do the job for me. Soften and lighten that butter. Yeah, let's leave that coconut in for just a few more minutes. You can go around about 4 more minutes. Sorry, I thought 12 would be enough. I'm looking to brown that coconut a little bit. All right, so back to kind of a medium low. I don't want it right in the paddle. I'm gonna start taking chunks of cream cheese and throwing it in with my butter. Now my butter is about the same texture. Once it starts sticking to the bowl, once it starts flinging off the paddle, it begins to soften it up. And when it's about that texture, it will evenly incorporate with my cream cheese. And that's what I'm looking for. And I'm moving pretty fast here. Bigger mixer, I might be using bigger pieces because I got a bigger paddle moving around at a different rate. So I can go just a little bit faster. Keep it coming. You're changing the texture of that butter. It's a stiffer product than the cream cheese is. Okay, so we softened it, and now we're softening it some more. There's supposed to be some vanilla in this.
Yeah.
I can throw that in at any time. That ain't too much. Look at that. This is my camera person. Multifunctional, multi-talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, throw it in. Oh! My eyes! Keep it coming. It takes all 3 pounds of cream cheese. It takes the whole pound of butter. It might or might not take the whole, 6 cups of powdered sugar. It's a bad measurement because it's variable, and that's where you're going to run into trouble with the icing. If it's really soft, if your cream cheese icing is really soft, chances are your scaling was a little off, or your measuring in this case was a little off, because the sugar was a little too much. You can fix that. Take all your cream cheese icing out of the bowl, whip a little bit more butter and cream cheese together, and then work your cream cheese back into it. That'll fix that, but nobody wants to hassle with that. So you want a better unit of measurement. And again, cup measure just ain't that way. Okay, when you're using cups like that, I don't like that element of the formula. I'm not sure why it's written like that. Honestly, I need to get a good weight on that. Maybe I'll do that someday. Keep it coming, we're almost there. Okay, from 3 pounds, we're down to about the last 8 ounces. And it's nice and smooth. I don't see any lumps. That's a good thing. And at this point, I can really just throw it in. Notice too, I'm wearing gloves. This cream cheese icing is not going to be processed. So, it's ready to eat food. I want to make sure I'm not handling it with my bare hands. That's your world. Not mine, but yours. When I was coming up, we didn't have to do that. You could wash your hands, and that was considered good enough. For whatever reason, that's not good enough anymore. All right, so I've got my my powdered sugar in the bag while my mixer's running. Any brown on that coconut? Yeah, let it go around one more time. You can catch it on the next time. Just keep your hand on it. All I'm going to be doing is shaking in some powdered sugar. Probably splash all over Ashley here in a second. You don't want to miss that. Doesn't matter where you're standing. All right, so I'm going to trickle this in so it doesn't blow up all over the place. If I throw it in there all at once, and I can do that, you got to be real careful about the way you run your mixer. But if I just throw it in there slow, sure, you're going to get a little bit of sugar dust. Breathe it in, it's good for you. Just one more way to get sugar into your body. Kidding, gosh, it's so serious. And again, does it take all of the powdered sugar? Well, that's more about how well you've measured your powdered sugar. It's going a little fast, so I shut it down just a little bit. A little splash, let it mix in. A little splash, let it mix in. I'm going to go ahead and put all this in. I'm going to assume that this is right. I might stop a little short. We'll see. And again, that's nothing on Summer. I mean, this is her powdered sugar, and I think she probably did a fine job of measuring it, but it's that whole cup measure thing. If I ask all of you to get me a cup measure full of powdered sugar and weighed it, it'd be a bunch of different cup measures. You know, that's not accurate. There's no consistency in that. But if I ask you all to get me 6 ounces of powdered sugar, that's not different. Good. Almost got her. She wasn't even looking, too. I would have got her. Turn my mixer a little bit so I get close. And you'll notice, too, I probably could have scraped somewhere along the way, but my cream cheese and butter were kind of riding high in the bowl, so I could see down to the belly button. It wasn't a problem. Once you add that, once you start adding the powdered sugar, it's fine. There's a lot of moisture that comes out. I'll hold back just a little bit. It looks pretty good. Doesn't look too runny, but I don't trust it. It really is a problem. If this stuff gets runny, that is a nightmare. That's the stuff that homicidal rages are made of. Okay, get that scraped down just a little bit. Then we're going to kick it up. I'm going to put a little air into it. Now, if it were July and it were really warm, I might kick a little bit of emulsified shortening in there. Cake shortening with the emulsifier in it. Help tighten that up a little bit so it's not going to run off my cake. Even in warm conditions, because people take these cakes, they put them in their car and don't understand why all the icing melted off of them. You know, so people are going to abuse them. We'll hedge our bets with a little bit of shortening or emulsified shortening, help tighten this up just a little bit. And by a little bit, in this batch, I'm talking about maybe the size of a black walnut. A good chunk, but not a whole lot. Okay? There's my cream cheese icing. All right? Any questions? Make me some cream cheese icing.